So the WhereIsMyTransport platform is an open platform for integrated public transport data. So we work primarily in emerging cities across Africa and the Middle East, and we centralize and create data for formal modes of transport like buses and trains, and also informally run modes of transport like minibuses, matatus, rickshaws, dala-dalas, all of those really exciting and dynamic modes that are demand-based, and they sometimes seem to even defy logic.
What regulatory barriers do you face as an innovator, and what do you think should be done about those?
Well, as a small startup company, one of the major things that we like to do with cities, and we think this is a good idea, even for large companies too, is to run smaller test projects, pilot projects, proof of concepts that can then be scaled up. Especially when you have a city that's dealing with thousands of individual operators, it's very difficult to roll out one turnkey solution across the entire thing. But often the cities we work with are unable, due to their own policies or procurement rules, to actually implement smaller scale projects. Our projects are often too small to qualify as being worthy of the city, even if the city wants to do it. So we would really urge cities to look at whatever governance structures are constraining them from this model of innovation, which requires testing and iteration and learning and expanding, to really try to remove those barriers and be more flexible about the way that they work with smaller companies in these sort of test projects.
And your experience there really speaks to that tension between innovation and regulation.
It does, I think. Unfortunately, a lot of times there is a tension between it, and that's why you don't see a lot of technology companies that are able to work directly with government and really give them what they need and help them, build that capacity and expertise within the government. One other thing I think about that tension comes from cities and public officials who don't have as much technical knowledge as they really need in order to know exactly what they need and how they want to get it. So you often have tenders or proposals that are written that don't actually ask for the solution that the city needs because there's a lack of capacity and understanding technical solutions. So that would also be somewhere we think there could be a lot of room for improvement. But I also think that tension can be really productive, right? Regulators create the environment in which companies innovate. And if you, for instance, as a city want to prioritize the openness in data and the openness in innovation, then you create a regulatory environment that forces companies to find a way to exist competitively with open policies. That's your mandate, and we actually think that the regulatory environment can be really fruitful for creating companies that serve the city's purpose.